If you are passionate about sustainable food sources and you are curious about how our seafood is farmed, in other words, how our fish is farmed, then you are in the right place. In this video, we are going to explore the definition, history, importance, and benefits of fish farming. We shall also look at the methods that are involved in fish farming. So let's get started. Before we move into fish farming, let's look at the definition of aquaculture. Aquaculture is the cultivation of aquatic organisms such as fish, shellfish, crayfish, and even aquatic plants. So aquaculture is the umbrella term under which fish farming is formed. Now let's look at fish farming. Fish farming refers to the breeding, rearing, and harvesting of fish in a controlled and confined environment. The major terms here is controlled environment and confined environment. That means that when you find people who are harvesting fish bodies, that is not fish farming, because such activity, they have not confined the fish and they have not reared the fish and they have not have the fish in a controlled environment. So in a situation where you confine, you put the fish in a controllable environment and provide the fish with feed and other requirements, then that is what we call fish farming. And this practice can occur either in fresh water or in salt water. And various species of fish can be farmed. We have a lot of them. We can talk about catfish, we can talk about salmon, we can talk about tilapia, we can talk about koi, we can talk about carp, and just mention. So now let's look at the differences. Many people refer them as one, though they are similar, but they are not the same. When you talk about aquaculture, aquaculture is the universal set, and the fish farming is a subset. What I'm trying to say is that aquaculture is a broader term under which fish farming is found. Fish farming is a subset of the universal set, which is aquaculture. So now, when we talk about aquaculture, in the production of aquaculture, we are not limited to only fish. We are referring to all aquatic organisms, and that even includes aquatic plants. But fish farming, we are also talking about the production of freshwater or saltwater fish only. So other types of organisms, such as shrimp and others, are not part of fish farming. Now, we'll also talk about aquaculture. It is just a small amount of special food from outside. So mostly, these organisms are not fed by the individual. Yes, they are only given a portion by the individual, but they are mostly also fed by nature. But in a place where you provide the fish with the food made by human and control their nature, then that becomes fish farming. So now, when you look at fish farming as a subset of aquaculture as a universal set, then you are good to go. So fish farming is part of aquaculture. So now let's look at the history of fish farming. When we talk about fish farming, since 2000 BC, China is said to be the first people to rear fish in a controlled environment. And after that, Egypt was also seen as another country that rear or keep fish. From then, during the 20th century, this venture, this business started to grow, and then the demand for seafood increases, and people now move into serious farming of fish. And that is when you could see the global demand increase, and then people started to breed fish seriously. And then coming down to the 21st century, Then innovative way of farming fish, such as aeration system, filtration system, automatic feeders, and all other modern fish such as using chemical, it has implemented or has been introduced into the fish farming adventure. Now let's look at some of the importance of fish farming. Why do we care to rear fish? Why do we care to keep fish? Why do we care to confine fish? Now, we can talk about the first thing as sustainability in the production of seafood. Why should we say sustainability? When we look at our wild fish, the fish in our water bodies, the constant harvesting, the constant hunting of these wild fish is becoming a threat of extinction of the fish species. All the time we are in the river bodies, and the demand of fish is also increasing. So there's a need to have a balance of production to complement the wild fish. And when you look at the statistics, it is clear that the wild fish is coming to extinction because of the constant depletion of the wild fish. So fish farming is also coming to complement and support to provide seafood, and that means that we can keep on having seafood throughout the year and beyond. But if you are going to rely only on the wild fish, then we are likely to have depletion and extinction of the fish species. Now we can talk about economic growth. Now let's look at how fish farming impacts the economy. How does that influence the economic growth? Now let's look at this. When you look at fish farming, starting from breeding, establishing the farm, taking care of the farm, harvesting, marketing, consumption, all these cycles require labor. It requires the work of people. For instance, there are people who are specialized in the production of fish ponds as their business. So it provides employment for such people. Now we also have people who are specialized in producing fish feed, because you cannot keep the fish without feeding them. So the production of the feed also becomes a source of employment for people. Now we can also look at managing the farm. You can't just put the fish in the fish pond and leave them like that. There's a need to have people who can constantly take care of the fish, who can keep the fish pond maintenance every day, who will feed the fish, who will do whatever that it requires to have a successful fish farm. All these cycles requires employing people. And we also have people who process the fish produce. They either buy from the farmers or the farmers themselves, adding value to the fish produce and marketing them. They could smoke them, grill them, prepare them with soup or whatever meal that you can think of, and that becomes very delicious. So now all this system, all this chain requires labor, and it provides employment for people. Another aspect of the economic growth is that it also brings foreign exchange to the government. Why or how? It's simple. Some of these farm produce are exported to other countries, and therefore giving the country foreign exchange. It could be the fish produce, the fish themselves, the feed, the fish pond, the feeders, aerators, recycled aquatic systems, and all that, especially in this our modern era. So this brings foreign exchange to the government. All these contribute to the economic growth of the nation and the individual. Now, another important or benefit of fish farming is nutritional value. Seafood or fish provides a lot of minerals. We can talk about protein, we can talk about omega 3 acid, We can talk about vitamins. All these are products of fish, and it provides nutritional value. It provides nutritional value to the consumers, and that encourages people to consume food. So it is a nutritional, or it adds nutritional value to the farmers. Now we can also talk about efficient resource use. Fish farming, especially this modern era, has made a simple way that you can use little resources such as little water, little feed to produce huge amount of fish. For instance, if you are using the recirculating aquatic system, that's the RAS system, which filters the water and reuse the water, it means that you are not going to constantly change the water, and therefore you can use small amount of water to produce large quantity of fish, and that is the efficient use of resources. Now we can talk about environmental benefits. Yes, those think that fish operations threaten or put threats into the environment, and that may be true. However, it depends on the setup of the farm and the farm management. If you're using the recycled aquatic system, while you filter the water, you reuse the water, and then you also have other systems in place, such as aeration, and then you keep the farm very well, you are going to minimize the environmental impact of fish operations. And you also make sure that you don't dispose of fish waste, such as dead fish, and and use feed just like that. And at the end of the day, it's going to be environmental friendly. Yes, we don't have fish farmers who are negligent, that they throw everything away, or they just remove the wastewater and then into the environment, causing the place smelling and all that stuff. But once you keep the system running very well, then you have a good management system that is going to provide a good environmental benefits. Now let's look at types of fish farming. We have several types of fish farming, which we shall look at them one after the other, and then in our subsequent videos we can talk about them in details. First and foremost is aquaculture. As I mentioned earlier, aquaculture is a universal set. It has to do with the rearing and keeping of all aquatic organisms, including aquatic plants, and that includes fish. So this is the broader term, which under which fish farming is part. So it's also is one or the first type of fish farming. Now we'll talk about mariculture. Mariculture is also a subset under aquaculture as a universal set. Mariculture has to do with rearing fish in a salty water. Yes, mostly this water or these fish are kept in the sea, in the water bodies, in the confined places. So they are mostly rare in seas. So these are the salty types of fish. And now we can also talk about the recirculating aquatic system. Recirculating aquaculture system. We simply call it RAS. The RAS system is the filtration of the fish water and reusing the same water to produce the fish. In this setup, the leftover feed, the fish feces, and other insoluble particles are filtered and washed out and reuse that same water and return it back into the fish pond. And that makes the system to keep working. And this system is very good for places where there is limited water supply. If you don't have enough water, this system is very good for you. With that little water you have, you can constantly filter and reuse that water. And that means that with that little water, you can make maximum use of it and produce huge amount of fish. So it is very good. And this system can also set up with other systems in fish farming, which we shall look at later. Now we also have the pond aquaculture. So this pond aquaculture is the rearing and keeping of fish in a confined and pond systems. And these pond systems, basically, there are five major pond systems, which we'll look at them individually. First, we have the concrete fish pond. It's also the type of fish pond or fish. It's a type of pond aquaculture where the fish are kept in a concrete pond. And this concrete pond is made from concrete materials such as cement, bricks or blocks, iron rods, and whatever. So this system is built with such materials, and the system is very durable, easy to manage, and then very versatile. The disadvantage is that this system is not mobile, and then also when you construct it at the first time and you don't treat it very well, you are likely to lose your fish because of the chemicals from the cement and other combinations. So we shall look at concrete fish pond details in our subsequent videos. So please subscribe to the channel, and then you can see more or details discussion about each of these pond systems. We also have tarpaulin fish pond. This is a system that's made from tarpaulin and PVC pipes or metal frames, which supports the tarpaulin to stand. So you can shape it either rectangular, circular, square, or whichever form that you want. You frame the tarpaulin and have a frame to keep it stand. It could be PVC pipes, it could be metal frame, it could be wood, or whatever that is available for you to keep the tarpaulin stand while you fetch in the water and then keep the fish in there. So the advantages are that this pond is versatile, easy to make, relatively cheaper, and then easy to control. And more importantly, it is mobile. You can decide to move it from one place to another, and there's no difficulties. But the disadvantage also is that it is relatively lesser lifespan. It can spoil easily. Make any mistake and then you can perforate it and you are going to lose everything. So that is the disadvantage of the tarpaulin fish pond. And then also it gets heat faster when the weather or the sun is very hot. The tarpaulin pond gets heat faster, and that brings us to making the fish very uncomfortable, especially when the temperature of the water rises. Now the third one is earthen fish pond. This is the digging of the ground with digging tools such as hoe, pickers, shovels, spade, and when the fish is large, we'll talk about bulldozer. You dig the ground in instances where the water holding capacity of the soil is very low. For instance, if it is not clay, it is very low to hold water. So seepage is very high. So in those instances, you can line the fish pond and have in the water. So you can either line with tarpaulin, rubber, or whatever that can support to keep the water and then keep it running. The advantages of this is that in this system, the fish feel more natural environment than the other types of pond aquaculture or other types of ponds. In this case, it's just like their natural environment. And the fish also gets natural food because this earthen pond can also produce aquatic plants that also supplement the feed that you're going to give them, and that will make them grow very well. And now another disadvantage of this is that it is expensive. For instance, if it is a large farm, you need to get bulldozers, you need to line, you need to put linings, all this comes at a cost. And the disadvantage is that this type of pond aquaculture, predation is very difficult. Predation is where fish feeding organism, it could be birds, it could be snakes or whatever that feed on fish, attack and consume the fish. That's predation. So the other types of fish ponds, you can easily cover the pond with a net to prevent access of the fish by the predators. But in this earthen pond, mostly it is difficult. The fourth one is plastic fish pond. And this plastic fish pond has to do with keeping and rearing the fish in plastics or in containers. You can simply make the container. Some people use there's a white plastic tanks similar to polytank. Some people use it. Others use basins or drums or whatever that is made from plastic. You can use it to keep fish. Now, this system, the disadvantage also is that it gets heat, especially if it is exposed to the sun. And then also, when you keep large amount of fish in it, they become congested and compete for resources. And that will make cannibalism to be very high. We'll talk more about cannibalism in our subsequent videos. So now, plastic fish pond, they are very easy and simple to acquire. But it is made for small farms. And using it for commercial may be difficult. The last and the fifth pond is the glass fish pond. This is a system that is mostly used by ornamentalists or people using this as a form of research, or restaurants and chop bars who are using point to kill. They use this system. And that system, the fish are kept in the grass, which is very transparent. And you could look through and see the fish. I say ornamental in the sense that people keep search for beautification, for decoration, and that's the ornamental aspect of it. But those who also use it as point and kill in their restaurants or their chop bars, they keep the fish to be swimming. They are swimming in the fish pond, in the glass pond. Then when customers come, they can easily look at them and point, and then they can get it for them. So in this system, you cannot keep large amount of fish in there, and you also have to constantly change the water to always make it look transparent. These are the pond aquaculture, and they are mostly run, or that's the most type of fish farm people are using. Personally, I'm using the tarpaulin fish pond and the concrete fish ponds. The earthen fish pond requires a large amount of land, because if you are going to construct an earthen pond, you need at least an acre. If you want to have a sustainable farm, you need to have at least an acre of land to be able to construct a fish pond. But the others, you can easily run them at the backyard or in front of your house, or whichever corner that you have a space in your home. You can easily put them there and you can make extra cash. So now, fish farming, we are concluding, fish farming has come a long way from its ancient roots, transforming into a sophisticated and vital industry that supports global food security, economic growth, and sustainable development. By understanding the different types of fish farming and their benefits, we can appreciate the critical role aquatic plays in our world today. If you have watched this far, I thank you so much for watching. And before you hang out, let's look at briefly whom we are, or when we talk about Faco Aquaponics, this channel. Faco Aquaponics is a fish farm system And as the name suggests, aquaponics. Aquaponics is the growing of plants, the growing of vegetables, the growing of crops in a soilless environment. And in that case, the fish water or the fish waste is to use to provide nutrients for the plants to grow. And the nutrients, the plant's roots will absorb the nutrients and the nitrogen and ammonia from the fish water and run the water back into the fish pond. And in that case system, it is a win-win. And you use one stone to kill two birds. You recirculate the water. The fish gets filtered water from the roots, from the crops, and the crops also get its nutrient from the fish. And that systems that, as I say, you use one stone to kill two birds. This channel is created because of our years of experience to help our colleagues, either those who are in the farm already and need more knowledge, as well also still seeking, or those who are yet to start their fish farm and they need knowledge. This is a sharing environment. It's a sharing platform, and we are going to learn together. So whatever comments that you have, put it in the comment section. We are going to learn together. And now, we also have systems running. As we have social media handles, and we are in all the social media handles, we use our name, Falcon Aquaponics. Yes, Falcon Aquaponics. We have our website, falconaquaponics.com. It's a blog page where you can visit and read more articles about fish farming. All these articles we publish, so you can check it out. When you check our description, you will see the link to this website and all our social media platforms. You can follow us on any of your preferred social media platform. We have Facebook page, Aquaponics, as you can see, where we put daily updates about fish farming. We also have Instagram page, as you can see. We have Instagram posts. All these are tips of fish farming. Then we have our TikTok accounts. You can follow us on TikTok as well. We have our Pinterest accounts. So if you are on Pinterest, you can follow us. We have pins, our blogs, and then our YouTube videos. You can go there and learn more. And we have Reddit accounts. So if you're on Reddit, you can follow us there. Then we have Quora accounts, as you can see, and other social media platforms. So if you want all these platforms, there are links. Check our description, then you can follow us on any of your preferred social media platform. And more importantly, on our blog page, where you can find details and more articles about fish farming. Look at all this. Look at all this. Beautiful. So please kindly subscribe to this channel and then turn on the notification button so that anytime we post a video, you can have a look at it and then put your comments. We are all learning together. If there's anything that you want us to share together, let's feel free and then connect. That's why we have our social media accounts, and then you can contact us anytime, and then we are ready to have any discussion together. And then thank you so much for watching the video to the end.